Rohan, could you just give us your thoughts on the game and your side's performance?
Another brave performance. Defended really well. Playing with 12 men again for, 60 minutes or a couple of injuries. As you know, you half anticipate them with the frequency of fixtures. So we defended well. They looked like they were reasonably calm defensively and in between, but the attack was a complete mess again.
You've showed signs, obviously you've been able to score points in recent weeks, but not getting it right tonight. But how pleasing is it that you've shown a different mentality, different side, different quality, the resilience to get over the line? Because there were periods of that game where you basically had no ball.
Well, I thought we had the ball, we just couldn't finish enough sets. So it felt like we didn't have position. I would say more than actually possession overall, but it felt like that because we were defending our own end a lot. So I agree with the feeling on the game. We've found ways to win defensively for a good few weeks now. Really, our attacks hasn't had fluent. We haven't had a consistent team from week to week, so that's difficult. And you can see everyone telling each other to calm down, but it's too late once you've played loose for no reason and turned the ball over. But the pleasing part is how together they are to just keep finding a way. And I'd say the best team still won tonight.
You just touched on it earlier. Both half-back sin-bins at different stages. What were your thoughts on those and were they deserved?
I'm relatively new still here, so I'm not sure what's acceptable as far as comment goes towards those things that get adjudicated on by other people. I'm not a big fan of people getting sin-binned in general. If it's a clear-cut, obvious case, I wouldn't have seen any of the sin bins tonight as necessary, personally, but I'm not sure. I'm sure the powers to be will give me a call if they're interested in my opinion.
And just on one of those, obviously Blake Austin would have been disappointed to get sin bin, but showed his class at the end to pop up at the right time to come up with a vital try. Just a sort of a word on the quality that he possesses, and he showed it in the crucial part of the game.
It was a huge play. Brad went the right way and he felt a bit of space there, but then it sort of closed down and Blake just used his instincts, and he's a very good instinctive player when he's in that mode. He can sense opportunity, and when he got it, Brad found him. When he saw the space, he found it, and then Brad found him, and he pinned his ears back. So it was clearly a big play to get the result, which was much needed.
That win's a big one for you in the context of the season, but depending on how results go, you could find yourself obviously still in a real tight race for the playoffs, still with 2 games to go. I mean, does it almost feel like every week recently has been almost like a playoff type game for you?
Recently?
Since you got here, I suppose.
Yeah. Not trying to be smart there. Like it's every game's been got to win it since I've been here, and that's what comes with being at this club. Every game is should win it, or at least be in the contest. So we've done a good job at being in the contest. For a long time here. We need to improve drastically on the trip to France next week to do our best to seal our fate.
You just mentioned your sort of injuries there. You obviously lost Liam Sutcliffe early on. What's the diagnosis with him? But then also on the flip side, it must have been brilliant to see Tom Briscoe get his comeback from injury, and thought he did a great job actually for his first game since April.
Yeah, he did. He hasn't since April, so it's a big time out. Even though he's a very experienced player, we anticipated using him tonight, but didn't have a strict plan about when that would be. As it happened, he's done a great rehab in the last month or so. He had a few setbacks during the time, but he kept his head up and kept working through it. And then, the last month he's really trained hard and got himself into a position where he wants to be competing to be back in the team, which he got there, 6 or 7 minutes in. We needed him today, and he stood up and played well, which was great. It was great. Yeah, I'm not sure what the diagnosis with Suddy is there. He's got a bang on his knee, and clearly he was hampered. So yeah, we needed to take him off, but hopefully it's one of them that can settle down and he can get himself back in the picture real soon.
And just on Morgan Gannon as well, he took a few knocks, but he had to succumb to an injury in the second half. What's the issue with him?
Yeah, as you said, he had multiple bangs and dings and wounds and whatever. I think it was ribs in the end. I was planning on, I was just watching the game unfold there, and he was almost due to have a breather anyway, I thought. So it was a good time when he got hit hard there as he was running the lead line, and it was the right time to take him off, I thought.
What did you make of the Chris Hill yellow card?
Looked like probably should have been a penalty. That would have been fine, I reckon.
Last week he spoke about not winning the player count. I'd venture that you didn't win the player count tonight. I might be wrong, but at some point you have to start winning the player count, just because it must be energy sapping for your team with short turnarounds. Hopefully for you, playoffs at the end of it. Do you need to start winning the player count just so you're not expending needless energy?
Well, it certainly helps, because then if you win the play count, you usually win the energy battle as well. But I thought I didn't ask after. We kept turning the ball over. I stopped asking about the plays or checking that, because it wasn't about that. It was discipline with possession that we needed at that point. I think it was more position on the field that hurt us more than number of plays. But I felt our energy was good throughout. I took Zane Tedovano off after 60 minutes or something, just because we had 12 men and trying to keep him fresh in case he needed to go back. And we had Mikolai ready to go. Like our middle unit people just keep turning up. It's not always the prettiest, but we're hard to break down most of the time.
How did you go about picking a team for Monday? Did you have much thought?
We've just started spitballing in there about who could do what, but it's a bit early to tell with a lot of bumps and bruises. And the good news is we had 3 or 4 blokes there not selected tonight, so they'll be all in the picture. And as it has been for months now, like whatever team we've got, that'll be the team, and we'll do our best.
Cruz Lehman actually come back into the side. Initial fears was that he was going to miss the rest of the season, but came back in and played long minutes as well. So it must have been nice to get him back and have an influence on the game. Yeah,
he's done a good job with his rehab. He's lean and he's fit. He was raring to go. He told me early in the week he's ready to play 80 if we wanted him to. I thought it was the best way to reintegrate after a good time out off the bench, and he did a good steady job, I thought. He looked fit, and looking forward to him fitting into the rotation there next couple of games.
Rohan, Ian Watson was generalising when he's just been in, but he was talking about the Chris Hill Richie Myler incident, and says he's worried for the players that when they're sort of rolling over, jumping over, they're going to injure themselves seriously. Do you think that's a fair comment? But also what he was sort of alluding to the Myler incident, do you think that's a fair comment?
I haven't watched it closely. Like, I saw it once there on replay, but at the time we had more important things to worry about than anything their players were doing. I think overall our game, it couldn't be any safer. It gets safer all the time. The players know how to take care of each other. There's very few, even of the high tackles, the dangerous throws, anything. There's very few that ever really result in serious injury. Occasionally there's a head knock. Most of the time players come back from the HIA anyway. I'm not sure if there's public stats on that, but I'd imagine the success rate of the HIA is pretty high. So I'm not sure that some of the situations actually result in injury, and whether we're sometimes being, I don't know. I understand the need to protect the head. I understand that. But some of the other situations that have nothing to do with the head, but there's always going to be head contact. You know, there's studies out there that the RFL have done about pretty much every tackle has some kind of contact to the head, to the ball carrier. You know, so it's one of them.
Could you just ask you about your bench tonight? Ran with 1 million, Jeremy O'Connor, who's a bit of a utility. Did you have a feeling that you might need an outside back for, you know, tactical injuries, or was there something deeper behind the selection?
Well, there's always a lot of thought, and talk you through it one day if you want. But yeah, today I wanted to get Tom back into the picture, and quite often, as I've said, you know, sometimes the last bloke, you know, the 17th player doesn't play big minutes because of our other players in the middle, particularly being able to play such big minutes. That I thought it was a good time to do that, with the slight thought about what's coming ahead as well, that 17th spot, was it worth getting someone else in that's been playing a bit or getting another player into that rotation? So I thought that was the way to go. With Cruz back, you know, I saw that Jared's role today was going to be smaller minutes but very important minutes, and through the middle as a 13.
Any further questions?